Hello walkers, and welcome back to City Walks. Sorry about the swinging here. Obviously today we are not in a city, but this is a channel where I walk you around and try to introduce you to interesting things as I walk and talk and discover things myself. I'm going to turn you around here, so another quick spin. My name is Henry. I will be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide, your co-discoverer. As I like to say, because these walks are often as much a discovery for me as for you. And I hope you enjoy that. We'll see what we can find out today. I've got some cool views for you if the rain holds off just a little bit longer. I timed this a little bit late, but I'm going to flip you around again and tell you a little bit more. Here, I'm going 2, 3. We are at Deep Creek today. It is 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius. It's about 4 p.m., late April. As you can see, there's a burned area, and this burned area is about, I'd say, 15 years old. Big fire came through here, started down lower over by Pine Creek. I think that's the same fire. I left this walk a little bit long today, and partly because I thought the weather we're going to be in here was going to go further south, but I was wrong. Anyway, I'm going to spin you around again. You can see from the snowpack on the mountains that we're up a little bit high, but it's also here in Montana what we refer to as mud season. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that here, but we've actually had a pretty dry spring until today. We've had a little bit of rain, but not a lot. Usually this is kind of our rainy time as well as our melt time. And we'll get into it, just a little bit of that down here, but that means not a lot of skiing, of course. Hiking can be quite messy. Thank goodness today it's not yet. You can see kind of a hint of the views of Paradise Valley out here. We'll get a much better view when we go up and over out into the open. What else? Oh, thank you to our Patreon supporters. I have not been doing as good a job as I should in showing my appreciation to you guys. There are links down in the YouTube description if you want to join. I think it's $5 a month, $6 a month. Nothing special, just helps me make these walks. So if you like these walks and if you can chip in a little bit of money, that's awesome. I appreciate it. Kudos to those of you who have used Facebook and Ko-Fi or Coffee to do one-time donations. Thanks again for that. It really helps, and it's really great encouragement. Also, if you have any questions or if you have any comments or corrections or complaints, please put them nicely. But I do enjoy interacting with viewers, and hearing your thoughts, hearing your memories, hearing your perspectives. I actually get a lot of joy out of that. So hit me up in the comments. You can see a lot of this really rocky, landscape with a lot of these trees that have fallen down over the years. As the should have brought a raincoat. What do you call it? Umbrella. I use my hat here. I want to show you this too. That, I think, is a little bit of moose scat. So moose come up here. Moose love, they're nevophilic, meaning they like the snow, or they're happy to be in the snow. And they come up here and they browse on whatever they can sticking out of the snow and not have to worry too much about predators in the winter. You can see a lot of this down trees. This rain. Look at this big charred thing. And we're coming up here on the actual creek, Deep Creek. If you follow this trail back behind us, goes about 13 miles over to West Boulder trailhead. And I've never actually done that hike, but I was thinking on the way up, I bet my son would love it, he and his friends. Whoops, a little stumble. Got a little sparrow up here, flitting about. Huh. Oh, they're not. They're dark-eyed juncos, sorry. In any case, fun. I really did put this too late. I do love the smell of the creek here and the wet landscape coming alive in the spring. It's really nice. I love the camera that I use for these walks. It's called a Osmo DJI Pocket 3, and it's just a really great system. It's almost perfect for this kind of thing, except that it's not weatherized because it's on a gimbal. It has its own gimbal, and so it's not ideal for walking in the rain like a GoPro or a Osmo Action, but it is pretty sweet. Maybe this will just be a sprinkle. I don't know if the sound will come through, but right before I hit record, there's a massive thunderclap. But I haven't heard any more, so that's good. Okay, you can see we've got snow here. We are in late April, so it's not particularly low, but it's not particularly snowy either. In fact, we have a flood warning in effect right now. You can see the snow kind of makes the trail, or can make the trail, kind of goopy, muddy, slippery, just a little bit of a hassle to walk on. This is public land. I think over there is actually private, but you can see some old road cuts. And as we get up here, we will see, not quite here, but a little bit further. We'll look south, and I'll point out where Pine Creek comes out. I've done several walks up there, and I hope to do another one soon. But that little canyon stays snowy for longer. See the little bit of brightness in between the clouds there. Here's some mud. Yay. You see some insects out too. Maybe you can see them kind of flitting around. These look like mosquitoes. I give them a pass. If you start to look at closely at some of this area, it's not just dead grass and trees. There's a lot of smaller stuff too. A lot of detailed or variation in plant life and insects and that sort of thing. It is a little blah right now, but you get mosses and lichens and all kinds of fun stuff if you have the time to put into it. I'm just gonna call this good. All right, see, here's where you get into a little sloppy, muddy stuff, and it's not great for the trail either to hike in that. Check my lens here, we're good. So I try not to do that too much. So April, May can be a little challenging if you're an outdoorsy person. Here comes the rain again. You also get, I've seen a lot of horse manure on the trail. People coming up here on horseback. I had to go down to Tucson on Monday to pick up my dad, who'd had a bit of a run-in with a mule. Speaking of equines, I didn't get a chance to film down there as I was otherwise occupied, but or on the way back. But on the way back, we stopped in a couple small Montana towns that I thought, hey, that'd be a good idea to come back and refilm some of these in springtime and, you know, maybe grab a couple new ones and show you guys what Montana small towns can be like. Oh, there's a dog up here. A little bit startled me at first because I am carrying bear spray and obviously chatting. You don't really want to surprise a bear or a moose, as that could be a downside for both of us. Oh my gosh. I feel silly holding my hat over this camera, but that's how it's going to be. Okay, so now we're looking out over Paradise Valley. I was actually hoping to show you a view of the hogback. And maybe this rain will pass by the time we get down. But it's directly across the valley. We hiked there last week, I think. No, 2 weeks ago, sorry. Maybe 3. And then this, you can see the Yellowstone River stretching out down below. Hey there, pup. Hi. And this is the Paradise Valley. And if we look over to the left here, there's a drainage back in there that is Pine Creek. Whoa, a little stumble there. I'm not sure where, oh, there's the owner. Happy dog with a little radio collar. Well, looks like a setter. It's colored like a Springer, but it's got a long tail. You can see the rain moving through the valley like that. It's kind of the neat part of having this big open views. You can see these big, massive landscapes and the weather going through. I really like it. Here's a better view of Pine Creek drainage over there. And it's really tight and narrow in there, so the snow sticks around. You only get so many hours of sunlight because the mountains are tall and the canyon is narrow, but it's a pretty, pretty trail. Say hello to my fellow hiker here. Hi there. Hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Whoops. So there are several Deep Creek signs. There's I think an Upper Deep Creek or North Deep Creek and South Deep Creek and Middle Deep Creek and Deep Creek Bench. This is South Deep Creek. Ooh, there's some lightning. Hopefully we'll be down at the car by the time that gets here. So we're looking south right now, and usually the rain comes from right to left, but it seems to be coming, I guess what we'd call down valley or up valley. I can't remember. It varies because the valley, the head of the valley is in Yellowstone, down by Yellowstone, and it is south, so it's kind of down. But the river flows north, which is downstream. So 'tis the season for that kind of stuff. This will be a shorter walk, I think, by the time we get down there. But I do like the views here, as I was saying. I was kind of actually hoping there'd be a little bit more green going, but things are starting to bud, but haven't quite gotten there yet. Take my hat off again. There's a little clearer atmosphere to the north. The cut there is right about where Livingston starts on the far side of that. Just big, open country. If you like these walks and you want to find more, but of different places or different lengths for your treadmill workout, check out the website, citywalksvirtualtours.com. You can find them from Europe and Central America, all over the US. And you can also sort by walk time, so it's broken down into 10-minute segments, sort of like 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 plus minute walks. And I try to write up a little bit about those places as well on the blog, just to give a little bit more info that I might not remember or learn after the fact, or just share a little bit more of the experience. See some flowers. I think those are glacier lilies, maybe? Probably not, actually. Those are something else. Little yellow guys. Hear a few birds calling, that's good to hear. There's been just a real crash in the population of songbirds globally. And if you think about it, cats kill 3 billion songbirds a year. And it's always just, you hear them calling, and then all of a sudden that sort of Rachel Carlson's Silent Spring is maybe another few years off. I don't want to be a downer, but I do like birds and I like my nature. So, and we saw those juncos earlier. Well, I did. So you can see the river kind of winding around the silver gray, and it hasn't quite, runoff really hasn't even started yet, but we're missing a lot of snow down low. That should start here any day or any time now, really, and the river will come up and it'll get up. It's probably at 3,000 or 4,000 CFS right now, and it'll get up into the 20,000s. Unless we get a flood like 2022, and then it's much higher. That year in 2022, they had this contest, or they did it for a long time, called Predict the Peak, and you sort of pick the peak of the river flow, and it's usually in the mid-20s. High 20s, and it got up into I don't even know, but it was way above 50, I believe. So, and it was in June, so nobody really won that one. How you doing? Good, thanks. That system works pretty well if I can keep it out of the camera, or the view, but makes my shoulders tired a little bit. I'm gonna have to undo this gate and then redo it here, so bear with me. You might hear some clanging. not that big a deal to undo it, but redoing it, I have to stop. There we go. But redoing it one-handed is a little tricky. Whoop. Sorry about this. There we go. This really is a beautiful, beautiful valley. And even with all the additional homes that are being built down here, making it look a little bit like a subdivision, just the openness still is pretty nice. I mean, you can see all the houses that have been built. A lot of them just since I've been here, which is about 20 years, a little less than 20 years now. Funny how it slips up on you, sneaks up on you. We're getting on towards green up here. That's what they call it when everything kind of bursts with life for a few months, a couple months. And then about July, mid-July, everything starts going brown. But it's really pretty vibrant when it happens. I must look silly holding this hat over this camera while I'm hiking. Oh well. I look silly anyway. All right. Staying off the lens though, so that's good. Oh, we get some bluebirds here. The mountain bluebirds are here. And the males are really just this beautiful royal blue, indigo blue. They're pretty small, so I don't think I'll capture them on this camera. But they really are pretty. It's funny, I don't think often about the smell of a rainy day, but it definitely has a distinct scent to it, which is really nice. Probably partially the ozone, partially the plants getting some wetness to release whatever they do. Maybe the soil a little bit. Maybe it's just better able to transfer with the moisture, or better to pick up with our noses, wee little noses. Here's some thunder to the south. Kind of sounds like it's bouncing around in the mountains. Like a whoosh, 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 whoosh. All right, the rain here is picking up, and we are almost to the trailhead. So I'm just going to call this, and we'll have a short one today. But I want to thank you guys. Ooh, there's a bluebird. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this little moist walk. You can see a truck down there at the parking lot. We'll be walking again here. Hope to get to some small towns, as I mentioned. Hopefully you'll come back and walk with us again. Until then, keep on stepping.